If you're thinking about booking a character meal at Walt Disney World, you probably realize by now that there are a lot of options available and not all of them are created equal. Today, I want to break down the pros and cons of every single character meal at Disney World so that you know exactly which ones are worth your time, your money, and your appetite. And I'm going to tell you which ones are my favorite. Let's dive in. So, lots of people that are planning Walt Disney World trips want to incorporate character meals because they're a chance to dine while the characters come to the table and or you can meet characters nearby within the restaurant. For a lot of people, this is a chance to multitask because you can both spend time eating and meeting characters at the same time. It can also make characters feel much more approachable. Like if you have little kids, you're not sure how they're going to do with characters, it's sort of a more passive way to observe them without standing in a line to go and meet them. So a lot of people do like doing character meals for these reasons, but I want you to make sure that you do the ones that are more worth your time. They are available in all of the Disney World parks and in a lot of the resorts. Please remember that I always recommend dining near where you're going to be. So keep that in mind as you choose a character meal. I don't want you to hear about a good character meal without thinking about the transportation time it's going to take to get there and back. Let's start with the options that are available at Magic Kingdom. Cinderella's Royal Table, which is inside Cinderella Castle, is a great one to start us off. Here, you can usually meet Ariel, Cinderella, Aurora, Snow White, Jasmine, sometimes Merida. They do have breakfast, lunch, and dinner available at Cinderella's Royal Table. The food here is a fixed price menu. It is not a buffet, and the food itself is American food that is served to you at your table. It is hard to beat the ambiance of being in the castle, and that is one of the biggest pros of this meal, the unbeatable atmosphere. It is also a chance to meet lots of princesses without having to wait in lines for each one of them that you would have to do outside of the restaurant. The food didn't used to be great, but it has improved a lot. And a lot of people, including us, have given it good reviews. So that is a nice improvement. There is a photo pass pic that is taken as you enter. So you get that digital download as part of the experience. On the con side, it is one of the most expensive meals on property. And if you're on the Disney dining plan, it's 2 credits. So it is not cheap. It often is hard to get this reservation because of its popularity. And it's not ideal if you're in a hurry because it can take some time. But overall, for princess lovers, it's a really great experience to at least do once. Moving on to another place within Magic Kingdom is the Crystal Palace. Now, this is where you can meet Winnie the Pooh and friends, which usually includes Eeyore, Piglet, Tigger, and of course, Winnie the Pooh. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This particular restaurant is buffet style, serving American food. On the pro side, it has fun character interactions with Pooh and his friends. It is the only character meal that where you can meet them, and the food is generally good. However, on the downside, the pace can feel really slow when you're waiting for the characters, and sometimes it is a long wait to be seated. Your experience may vary. That has been our experience there. I wanted to mention in the Magic Kingdom category, Be Our Guest restaurant, although Disney doesn't consider it a character meal, we just want to include it in this list so that you know because the Beast is there. He doesn't have a traditional meet and greet, although we did meet him last year. He is currently just sort of meandering the dining room. So if you want to see him, this is a way to do it. They have lunch and dinner, American and French food. It is a fixed price menu. On the pro side, this is the only way to go inside the Beast Castle and to see the Beast in person. But on the con side, it is expensive. So if you're paying out of pocket, it is a fixed price, expensive cost. But from the dining plan, it is 2 credits. The service and food can be inconsistent. I've had good experiences there, but not everybody reports that. And waits to get in can be quite long. So don't expect a traditional meet and greet here, but you can see the Beast if you choose to dine and be our guest. Let's skip over to Epcot and talk about a couple of options available there, starting with Akershus, which is in the Norway section of the World Showcase. There are princesses here, just like you'll find at Cinderella's Royal Table, but the princesses here usually include Snow White, Cinderella, Belle, Princess Aurora, Ariel, and Tiana, or at least 5 of those. One thing to note is it does not include Anna and Elsa. I know it would make a lot of sense because it's in the Norway pavilion, but it does not. They do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have American food and Norwegian food. The breakfast is 1 Disney Dining Plan credit. The lunch and dinner are 2 Disney Dining Plan credits. The pros of this location are that you do get a lot of princesses that you can meet in one stop, and that it can be a great alternative to Cinderella's Royal Table if you want to get in someplace that doesn't have quite the competition. that Cinderella's royal table does, but it's still a good experience. On the con side, the Norwegian food doesn't appeal to everyone, so you might want to keep that in mind if you book it. And obviously, it's not in a castle, so you have to accept that it is a different environment, but also really enjoyable nonetheless. Also at Epcot is Garden Grill, and this has classic characters, Pluto, Mickey Mouse, Chip and Dale, and they're all in farmers outfits. They do have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here, and it is served family style. It's American food, really good food. I think most people walked away thinking it was a delicious meal. On the pro side, it is a super relaxed pace with characters circling multiple times, usually per meal. And it is family style dining, so you don't have to make repeated trips to a buffet, which is always difficult to coordinate with the characters. It's a rotating restaurant, which is a unique experience. It usually does one rotation per meal, so it's barely noticeable, but it's kind of a novelty. It is often easier to get a reservation here than many other places. On the downside, it can be difficult for large groups because they have big curved booths that have a limit, and then the tables are smaller size, so just keep that in mind. Although the rotation of the restaurant is slow, it could bother some people, although I usually travel with somebody that has motion sickness and it's never bothered anybody that I've been with. It's just kind of a novelty to have the scenery change periodically. All right, now that we've talked about Epcot, let's skip over to Hollywood Studios, starting with Hollywood and Vine. Typically here you will find Mickey Mouse, Minnie, Pluto, and Goofy, and they change out costumes by season. So they'll have holiday duds, they'll have spring duds, Halloween duds, etc. They do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner here, and it is buffet style, and it is American food. I used to absolutely hate the food here and declared it the worst on property. However, it is good now, and I would no longer say that. I really enjoy the food there. On the pro side, the food is good now, so that's a nice upgrade. And the characters do rotate with their seasonal outfits, and we find that incredibly adorable. We end up going back a lot just because we want to see the changes of outfits and get new pictures. On the con side, it can be quite loud, so keep that in mind if you decide to dine there. Let's skip to Animal Kingdom, where they have Tusker House featuring Donald, Mickey, Goofy, and Daisy. And here they are dressed in their safari duds. Tusker House serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the menu is African food and American food that is served buffet style. So if you are an adventurous eater, you might like some of the African food, but it shouldn't deter you if you're not an adventurous eater. On the pro side, we do enjoy the fun safari costumes and the unique menu. I don't personally like a really basic menu, and so I like having these options here. On the con side, it might feel too adventurous for picky eaters, but breakfast might appeal more to people with a more basic interest in their foods who don't want to be adventurous. Now let's talk about the character meals that are available at the Disney World resorts. These can be great options for arrival and departure days if you don't have a park ticket, but you still want to do something. These are some things that you might want to put on your list. Let's start with Topolino's Terrace, which is at Riviera Resort. They have Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald, and Daisy dressed as different types of artist outfits. They only have characters at breakfast here. The menu itself is French and Italian food that is served at the table. It is not a buffet. On the pro side, we love the amazing character costumes. They're so cute, some of the best on property. And the food is much higher quality than most character meals. At this restaurant, they do a great balance of entertainment and also keeping it fairly calm. It feels kind of spacious, but there's still a lot going on with the characters dancing and the music. And as a bonus, there are rooftop views here. So if you want to venture out on the roof, there's some great things to see while you're at the restaurant. On the con site, it is a hard to get reservation. It is the most popular character meal at Disney World, so that can make it very competitive. It also is only available at breakfast, so if you were looking for a lunch or dinner option for a character meal, this isn't going to be it. And finally, it can be hard to get to if you're not staying on the Skyliner, so keep transport in mind. If you are interested in dining there, it can be a good thing to pair with Hollywood Studios at Epcot if you want to just take the Skyliner from those parks. Next, let's talk about Chef Mickey's, which is located at the Contemporary Resort. There you'll find Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Pluto, Donald, and Goofy. They have breakfast and dinner available here, and it is American-style food served buffet style. This used to be my go-to, the way to kick off every trip. That it has changed a little bit. More on that in a minute. On the pro side, there are classic Disney characters, and it's a high-energy atmosphere that a lot of kids love, and it is fun and easy to access via the monorail. Monorailing into a dinner is really fun. Hard to beat that option. PhotoPass pictures are taken as you enter and you'll get the digital download. On the con side, it can be very loud there and chaotic, and the food is not good. In fact, recently I asked Shay Spence, who is the former food editor for People magazine and a Disney guy, what his least favorite restaurant was at Disney World, and Chef Mickey's was his answer. Let's move on to storybook dining at Artist Point, which is at the Wilderness Lodge. The characters here are very unique: Snow White, Evil Queen, Dopey, Grumpy. However, it's only available for dinner. The menu itself is a fixed price menu, not a buffet, but a very unique menu that is very themed. On the pro side here, it is a chance to meet some rare characters. The plated meals have a really fun presentation and they're unique compared to other places. And there is a PhotoPass photographer here to take your picture with the Evil Queen. The other characters will roam around and come to your table. On the con side, the food is very, very inconsistent. We've eaten here multiple times over the last couple of years, and we've had very different experiences every time, and people have told us the same about their own trip. It can be difficult to get there if you're not staying at the Wilderness Lodge, and it's quite expensive. If you're on the dining plan, it's 2 credits. If it's out of pocket, it's just going to be more than the others. And another downside is only available at dinner, so you don't have as many meal options there. Let's skip to 1900 Park Fair, which is located at the Grand Floridian. Some unique characters here: Aladdin in his Prince Ali look, Cinderella, Mirabelle, and Tiana's there in her new look for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. The character interactions seem to be very, very good here, in addition to just being interesting combo and cute to look at. They do serve breakfast and dinner, and it is American food served buffet style here, although it does tend to be better, I would say, than most buffets. The pro side is it is a fun mix of characters from multiple movies, and we love the interactions. It also is a fairly convenient location because it's fairly easy to get there if you're already going to be at Magic Kingdom. And on the con side, can be very loud. We've been there during peak times when it was so loud that I couldn't believe it. But then as people started to filter out, it became more manageable. So if you don't want loud, I would suggest eating at a non-peak time. Let's talk about Cape May Cafe, which is at the Beach Club Resort. They have Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Daisy all dressed in beach attire. Very cute. It is only breakfast, and this one is another buffet with American food. On the pro side, they do have adorable beachy costumes. It tends to be a little bit calmer than many of the other character buffets. If you're in the boardwalk area, it can be easy access. Otherwise, it will be a little bit tricky to get to. And the breakfast is generally well liked. The food is good. The cons are that it is only available at breakfast, and if you're not already in the boardwalk area, you'll have to really think about the transport to get there. Let's skip over to the Polynesian, which has Ohana breakfast. They have dinner as well, but breakfast is the character meal. This has Mickey, Stitch, Lilo, and Pluto. It is Polynesian food and American food that is served family style, so not a buffet. On the pro side here, the family style meal avoids the buffet chaos, which I always love. And Lilo and Stitch are unique characters to meet. The only place that you will be able to meet them at a character meal. And the kids, if you have kids, are included in the activities while you eat. So that can be fun, especially for kids that like to get up and dance. On the con side, it is only available for breakfast. So you're not going to be able to eat here with characters later in the day. And maybe one of the biggest cons, the food used to be better. A lot of mixed reviews now. A lot of people not enjoying this as much as they used to. So that can always change. But as of right now, that is our experience. And finally, the check-in usually does take a long time at this meal. So just prepare for it to take a little bit longer than you might expect. And finally, I wanted to mention Ravello. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's at the Four Seasons. It is not on property technically, but Four Seasons is nearby. It has Goofy, Mickey Mouse, and Minnie. It is breakfast that is served on a fixed price menu. It is only available certain days of the week. As of the time I'm recording this, it is available on Thursday and Saturday mornings, but that can change because we've seen it just be Saturdays in recent times, but check the schedule. What we do like about this is that the food is very high quality, as you might expect from a Four Seasons, and is a really beautiful space. However, the downside is that getting there would not be feasible for most people. However, if you're staying there, it's very convenient. It is not included on the Disney dining plan. The experience can feel rushed, and our experience is that there's less character interactions that you might get at other meals. All right, so that is all of the character meals that are available. So now I want to tell you what my favorites are. My 2 favorites are Garden Grove at Epcot and Topolino's at Riviera Resort. Neither of these are buffets. They both have delicious food and they both feature classic characters. So these are huge wins for me, and the reason that I would suggest them anytime anybody asks for which one should I go to. We do have a chart with every character meal that I have talked about that can help you compare restaurants, including pricing, characters, meals are served, and I'm going to link to that description if you want to figure it out for your own trip, which one is best for you. So there you have it, the pros and cons of every single character meal at Walt Disney World. Let me know in the comments which one your family likes most or which one you're planning to book. Also, let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.